I have decided that I am the type of person who would like to remain soft and mushy and sensitive in a world that demands that we be anything other than those things. And part of how I stay all soft and mushy and gooey and compassionate and empathetic is by self-soothing. And self-soothing is what keeps me soft. I remain soft by taking charge of my own emotions, my own anxieties, my own stresses, truly taking charge of my own nervous system and making my own decisions and thoughts from a calm and regulated place. And today's video is all about self-soothing, what it means, techniques we can use, misconceptions, just the general vibe. What does it mean to self-soothe? Self-soothing is different from self-care, and we'll be discussing all of that in today's video. Self-soothing is honestly how I stay grounded, relaxed, and connected to my body. And when I am grounded, relaxed, and connected to my body, it's almost like I have superpowers. I know how it sounds.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small, way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small, way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping a bomb to people putting up walls, I feel like life is on hold, perception stuck in a vault. I know that time can heal all, but how much time till we fall? It's awfully chilly outside, when there's no shelter to hide. When everything is a lie, you'll find that out in some time. But when the things on your mind are all considered a crime, communication aside, we'll all just fight till we die. Is this an argument, or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument, or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises, or maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me.
And you're super stressed out, you get home, you kick off your shoes, you know, you pour yourself a nice big glass of red wine, okay, and you put on your favorite Netflix show, binge watchable. You know, you are going to be stationary on that couch or on your bed for however many hours so that you can relax and just chill, maybe get a little Uber Eats later on. Make sure you have a little snack. You know, for me, snacks are potatoes. If there's a potato nearby, I will find a way to make it edible so that I can eat it, because potatoes are life. All of this is to say it's to help you unwind. What you're doing is you're getting home, you're trying to slow down the momentum of the day, you're trying to unwind. This is the more socially acceptable version of self-soothing. Essentially, what you are trying to do is unwind and go from an agitated state of mind to a calmer state of mind. And when you are trying to do that, you are actively self-soothing. That is not to say that the scenario I described is the healthiest or unhealthiest way of self-soothing. That's more a conversation for another time. It is to say that you performing those acts is you trying to regulate your nervous system into a calmer state of being. Self-soothing sounds really straightforward. It's not very complicated, but it sounds deceptively straightforward in that it's almost like you think it's just self-care, but it's not. It's much deeper than that. Self-soothing is attending to your triggers, finding out what they are, what sets you off, what will destabilize your calm state of being, and finding very healthy, targeted, and intentional coping mechanisms for those triggers. Have you ever seen someone tapping their foot, or, biting their nail, or constantly, fixing their hair or doing something like that? That's also another form of you or the person trying to self-soothe. We all do it. We all have different tells that say to us, okay, now we need to slow down and figure out what techniques we have in a toolbox that we can use to put us in a calm state of mind so that we can stay soft and beautiful and mushy and empathetic, as I said in the beginning of the video. First of all, it is important to note with self-soothing techniques is that they are all different, and not every technique will work for every person. Sometimes you will need a combination of techniques more often than not. Sometimes a technique will work and then stop working. Sometimes there will be techniques that don't work and then only start to work later on in life. And as I always say, context is important. What you're doing, where you are in life, the information you have. I say this probably in every video, but it's important to know that there's no one size fits all. There aren't like 3 techniques you do and all of a sudden you're like out of your triggers and like feeling super zen. That's not how self-soothing works. Self-soothing is a combination of things that work for different parts of you, depending on what you are doing at the time, what the situation requires and calls for. Super important to know that. I think in general, people forget that one needs to take a very holistic learning type approach to things that make us feel better, things that make us feel good, things that make us feel human. It's always a combination of solutions. Not everything is so black and white in the world, and we often take it as it is, and that's not the case. Anyway, enough babbling. I am now going to discuss my self-soothing techniques that work for me. Super casual. They're not fancy. They're probably not very groundbreaking or interesting, but they are what I use. They're my go-tos. They haven't always been that way, and as I said earlier, they've changed. Some of them didn't work before, and now they work now. Self-soothing is practice, and important to note that. So, yeah, let's get into it. All right, my first self-soothing technique is that I have a mental health crisis kit. I may have mentioned it in another video briefly before, once upon a time, but a mental health crisis kit is just a bag of go-tos, this little basket. It's got cinnamon sticks in it because I like the way they smell, and my mom gave me this little thing with cinnamon sticks. It's very sweet, very cute. I like how it smells. It makes me calm. It's weird. It's fine. It's what I do. I'm just letting you know what's in my mental health crisis kit. Don't judge me. What else is in there is an array of snacks, because this kit also functions as that time of the month, Shark Week, menstrual time kit. Can I say that on YouTube? I hope so. It's natural, so whatever. But there are definitely snacks in there. Snacks are good for self-soothing times, and I need to self-soothe during that time. So an endless array of snacks. I also have emergency money in this kit for whatever the emergency is asking for. It's usually a snack. In my emergency kit, I also have something comfortable and warm, a pair of schlumpy socks, a hoodie, that kind of vibe, and yeah, there's nothing else in there really. Another go-to for me is making a cup of tea on the teapot on the gas stove. It's a whole process, and it's a very calming process, and the end result is a really delicious hot cup of tea. So the act of me having to intentionally engage in making this cup of tea is very comforting. You put the water in and the tea bags in, and then it boils and it brews, and you let it go for like a really long time, and then the tea is just so strong and rich and hot, and it just doesn't come out the same as it does from the kettle. So that's really great, and I like that I can do that at any time, because we're in South Africa, so sometimes there isn't electricity, so having a gas stove is really a win. I can self-soothe all day, every day, with some tea and a book. Also, breath work. For me, my go-to is yoga nidra when I'm super destabilized and stressed out and overwhelmed. It's almost like a body scanning type of meditation. It's very, very relaxing. Yoga nidra and breath work are those two grounding techniques. Then there's actual yoga, a few stretches that I do. There's actual stretching, very good, because I find that I feel my overwhelm, anxiety, sadness in my body, and it's very confusing because I don't know how to release that. So finding ways to release that was super important, and yoga does the trick. A little downward dog, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, upside down, breathing vibes is really, really good for the soul. So learning to just make sure you move your body and get the tension out, like your physical symptoms out, is an excellent way to self-soothe. Very grounding. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Lo-fi beats. I am a lo-fi beats person. If there are lo-fi beats to be heard, I will make sure they are heard. Lo-fi beats are very relaxing, and so I put on some lo-fi beats. Always a candle. It doesn't matter like what time of day it is. I always have a candle on somewhere, just like around. There's always just a candle on. Adds to my zen, but it's definitely one of the first things I do is put on a candle when it's time to self-soothe, or I've had a long day. A candle is where it's at. A candle and some lo-fi beats. And then there's a new one that my therapist actually taught me. You know that our skin is the biggest organ in the body? I mean, if you didn't know that, now you know, the skin. And so being able to self-soothe is about learning ways to touch your body in ways that are super comforting and relaxing. One that's been really working for me is here on the side of my face, on your jaw. There's like super sensitive receptors or something, and touching yourself very gently on the side of your face can really help relax your nervous system so you don't feel so worked up. Another one is just splashing some cold water on your face. Not so long ago, I was in an interesting work environment that really was out of my comfort zone, but some of the things in that work environment were super triggering to my nervous system, and I find my heart was beating fast and I was worked up, and it was a lot. And putting cold water on my face, because I wasn't wearing makeup to work, splashing cold water on my face would calm me down. It's almost like, it's your body. It's like what happens when you jump in a cold pool or when you take a cold shower. It slows your heart rate down. You can make good decisions after that. And so that's been something that's working lately, just giving my face a rinse and just splashing some cold water on myself. Really great. Try it. Try different, like touching yourself techniques. Really. It's very soothing. You are the goddess. Another thing would be to interrupt your anxious or overwhelming thoughts with another better feeling thought. I learned this actually from Abraham Hicks. Take this with a grain of salt, because I don't think every single teaching that Abraham Hicks has is accurate, but I subscribe to it. It's a vibe, okay? Manifest it, baby. Okay. I digress. Let me bring myself back. Abraham Hicks was saying that we can't always go from feeling super bad to feeling super good. We can go from feeling super bad to reaching for a more helpful or a better feeling thought. So when you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, whatever, try to challenge your anxiety inducing thoughts with a better feeling thought. Not a good thought, a better feeling thought that gives you a little bit of perspective and gives your anxious thought another way to look at the situation. So when you're in those states of mind, a better feeling thought. Mind you, I didn't say a positive thought, so no toxic positivity here. I didn't say just try to flip that mindset switch and just tell yourself that everything's fine. I said pick a better feeling thought. So you need to reach in your vault in your brain and give your brain a perspective that's just a little bit different. It doesn't have to be excellent. It doesn't have to be amazing. You don't have to like flip the switch. It just makes sure that your brain knows that you have options and that you're not stuck in a situation, because feeling stuck is what creates overwhelm, anxiety. It's the not seeing a way out, and there are often multiple perspectives to any situation and therefore multiple solutions. Okie dokie. Hope that was helpful. It was a little chatty. It was a little chaotic. That's the energy. It's okay. I am an Aquarius, and I'm a Taurus rising, so I will not tell you my moon sign, but I am a fire sign. If you can guess what my moon sign is in the comments below, that would be cool. My moon sign. I don't know. Does anyone know anything about star signs? I know very little. Just been, checking some stuff out, and I didn't know we had a sun sign, a rising sign, and a moon sign. So, yeah, interesting. Bye, like and subscribe. Comment your 3 favorite emojis if you got to the end.